I will introduce the next team. The name of team is Avengers, with the title, Let's Add the Ship's Rudder Angle to AIS Dynamic Information for the Mars. Please give them a round of applause.
Good afternoon, delegates. We are Team Avengers, and I am the first speaker, Black Widow, and the second speaker, Iron Man, and the last speaker, Shy-Hulk. From now on, we'd like to start our presentation. Distinguished delegates, excellencies, and honorable Secretary General, we are Team Avengers, and I'm the first speaker, Black Widow, and we are pleased to give this presentation today for enhancing maritime safety through collision avoidance. And today, we'd like to suggest adding the ship's rudder angle data to AIS dynamic information for the Mars. Our presentation consists of 3 parts: background, discussion, and finally, the conclusion. Nowadays, most of the merchant vessels navigate with the help of several electronic equipment. Information from AIS, ACTIS, and others is provided to predict the course and speed of the target ship. But the information of electronic equipment is old data. For example, Alpha radar shows ship's course, but Alpha radar shows ship's course after ship changed the course. Can we know the course change earlier? If we understand the intention of the target ship, we may avoid collision more easily and earlier. From this question, we started our study. As we know, VHF is generally used for mutual communication to clarify the intention of ships in high-risk situations. But VHF communication sometimes takes time to call and share necessary information, thus increasing the risk. Particularly, if unmanned vessels are introduced, VHF can become less effective in avoiding collision between Mars and manned ships. Therefore, special plans are needed to provide reliable, real-time information change between ships. AIS, ACTIS, and Alpha provide information such as ship's position, heading, and navigation plan to predict the course of the target ship and use this data to avoid collision. But that information is past information. This past information is updated in certain periods after a time lag. So, we thought it would be more effective in avoiding collision if we could get not past information, but real-time information. And that the real-time data we think of as the rudder angle. We believe that rudder angle will indicate the future action of the target ships. Let me begin by briefing the AIS before the main dish. AIS is the abbreviation for Automatic Identification System. It is equipment that automatically displays navigation information such as ship's name, course, location, and etc. And it also can be used for simple text communication. And according to SOLAS Chapter 5, Regulation 18, AIS should include various information. These contents will be explained in detail by next speaker IMO, and also she will explain about the next part discussion. Thank you, Chair. I'm the second speaker, IMO. Please look at this slide. If the current time is 00 minutes and the target ship is to sail as follows, we can expect the ship to be at this position 3 minutes later. As such, alpha or axis will predict the course of the target ship using only the past position and speed. As of now, there is no way to know that the target ship's next movement and intention, although the ship uses rudder to put sight like this. Like this, misunderstanding of the target ship's intentions I'll prove. Like this, misunderstanding of the target ship's next intention could soon lead to a major accident. My fellow delegates, the following data indicates 2017 marine accident statistics by Ministry of Maritime Affairs and Fisheries. This data consists of the causes of the marine accidents in merchant ships. There are many kinds of accidents such as collision, stranding, fires, engine damage, etc. The focus here should be on the collision that accounts for the largest percentage of, regardless of the different navigation areas. The most common cause of the accidents was non-compliance with the general principle of navigation, such as identification of the other vessel and keeping the course line. Except for simple engine failure, human errors such as negligence of watchkeeping is taking over most of them. Therefore, early and accurate identification of the intention of target ship is essential to safety navigation, which will play a major role in reducing the incidence of ship accidents. This slide shows current recommendation on performance standard for AIS according to SOLAS 2010, Chapter 5, Regulation 18. This performance standard indicates that AIS should include the information such as static information, dynamic information, voyage-related information, and safety messages. For reliable real-time information, we would like to suggest adding the ship's rudder angle data to AIS dynamic information. The display of the rudder angle is proposed as follows. Digitize the value of the rudder angle indicator taken from autopilot and connect it to AIS to transfer information. I would like to invite the next speaker, Herc, for the conclusion.
Thank you, Chair. I'm last speaker, Chai Herc. We would like to propose an amendment to SOLAS regulation. In SOLAS regulation, AIS shall provide automatically to appropriately equipped shore stations, other ships, and aircraft information, including the ship's identity, type, position, course, speed, navigation status, and other safety-related information. We suggest to add rudder angle in dynamic data of AIS in 2010 SOLAS regulation. This humble delegation there say that the earlier we identify target ship intention, the more we have chance to avoid collision. Early and accurate identification of the intention of target ship is essential to safety navigation. So, in other words, if we know rudder angle, we can estimate the next course of target ship before course change. And it will play a major role in reducing the incidence of ship accidents by half. Second, the rudder angle information could be used in the mast instead of VH communication. As we are aware, VH communication is the most practical way of finding out target ship intention, but also it has possibility of leading to miscommunication. Furthermore, since it would be less effective for navigators against masts. So, rudder angle may give manned ship's intention to AI system of the mast and vice versa. We refer to SOLAS MSC structures and others. This is the end of our presentation, and we really hope and expect this presentation may contribute to enhancing maritime safety, to prepare and welcome era of the mast. Once again, we would like to express our thanks for efforts made by IMO and member states for better shipping for a better future. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your Benjamin teams for your nice presentation. Okay, head of judge panel, Mr. Bak, will preside over the Q&A session, please.
Thank you for your presentations to Avengers. I think you will do many things about to this autonomous ships issue, and so many questions is coming from the contesting attendants. Could you have our questions? What first? Yeah. The seafongs first, and then the master second, and Matthew and Autopia. Okay, first.
Thank you, Team Avengers. We are Team Sea Fungus, and if time is sufficient, we will ask 2 questions. Firstly, from the research.
Please close to your microphone.
From the research of Black Hat Conference, which is a hacking contest, AIS has a vulnerability of information manipulating. Would AIS be appropriate to expose the information like rudder angle with this vulnerability?
Could you repeat again last sentence?
From the results of research of Black Hat Hacking Conference, AIS has a vulnerability of information manipulating, which means the information can be easily edited by anyone. Would AIS be appropriate to expose the information like rudder angle on it with this vulnerability?
Could you paraphrase it for me?
Basically, it has a vulnerability of information manipulating, which means that anyone can access this information, and it can be easily edited. And information which is so important, such as rudder angle, would this be appropriate to put the rudder angle information on the AIS?
I want to the interventions to the when you the attendants have a questions, the brief question, and then you don't need to explain to the background or relevant knowledge, and so I would like to say it needed to the clarification, the clearly question.
Basically, it can be easily hacked, AIS, by hackers. It has a vulnerability. So you said you will put the information of rudder angle on AIS, and we think that it would be dangerous to put it on it because it has vulnerable issues. So would it be appropriate to put the information of rudder angle on AIS? I mean, how are you going to manage the information?
We
Okay,
appreciate.
I'm sorry to the judge's intervention
Yes,
to a little bit explain.
So I have something to interrupt regarding the questions and answer sessions. Actually, this is a contest for assessing some kind of ability to respond to the international meetings, not test for the specific knowledge in a specific domain. So if you want to make a question against some kind of presenter, you need to be very careful to make some kind of question focused on the content the presenter made. So not about the not question about some kind of knowledge. The question know only, not for the presenter. Thank you.
We're sorry about asking technical issues. We'll pass on to another team.
Okay, your team is fish, mass. Are you finished? Did you finish? Yeah. Okay. Next, I see to the master. Yeah, master. You have the floor.
Thank you for your presentation. We are Team Master. After changing the course, although its period depends on the course of the ship, information is updated in about 10 seconds. Also, it is enough to know intention of ship using the ARPA. From this point of view, does we need rudder angle data?
This delegates appreciate your question, but we believe that if it is a good way of identifying ship's course using alpha, but if the rudder angle will be added to AIS, it will be more accurate and helpful in decision making because recognizing digitized information could be better than perceiving visual images using alpha. We believe that.
Thank you for your answer.
Okay. Next, Masi. Masi, you have the floor.
Thank you for your presentation. You have imposed that collision accidents occur by human error. With this in mind, how does your proposal, which is adding rudder angle to AIS relate to your proposal? I mean, already there are TCPA and CPA information that is based on course and rudder angle process. So I'm just curious how it would affect more to avoid human collision accidents. Thank you.
We appreciate your question. To avoid collision, navigator have to decide how to avoid the vessel. But now navigators depends on the past information. So sometimes they make a mistake. So we thought if we know the rudder angle, as it is real-time data, it will play a major role in reducing the incidence of ship accidents. And it can reducing human error also.
Okay, thank you for your answer.
Okay, thank you, Masi. And next question is Otto Pierre. You have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. This is Team Utopia. Could you explain how rudder angle reduces the non-compliance with the general principles of navigation?
First of all, appreciate your question. But we already say that the question, we already say the similar answer just. So if we get rudder angle data, it can enhance the navigators. It can helpful decision making of navigator. We believe that. So we believe that the rudder angle can helpful in reducing the accidents.
Okay, thank you, Otto Pierre. And now is we are judge panel have a question. Mr. Hong.
Yes, thank you, Avengers. Thank you for your presentations. I think your presentation is one of the best in terms of the technical matters. So you present about the very detailed technical matters regarding the navigational equipment especially. And also rudder angle is very important information to avoid the collision between vessels. But at this stage, the vessel is operated by the person, so called seafarers. So if the seafarers notice the rudder angle exactly in advance, they can prevent very dangerous situation. However, if we consider this combined with the MAS, the autonomous ships, the autonomous ship is to decide the movement of itself depending on the predicted the position or movement of the opposite vessel, not through the rudder angle. So my question is that this necessity to include the information on the rudder angle into some systems, maybe this proposal is for the some kind of transitional period, maybe transitional period from the current stage to the final stage of autonomous ships. So at this point, of course, it's very important information, but with regard to the mass, I don't think this is very critical information compared to the automation. So which stage this information is necessary for us to include to provide this rudder angle information through the AIS system. In terms of the stage, each stage of introducing the mass in the future. Thank you.
We appreciate your question and we align you like that. We align you like that. We need the time. We hope our team to work with to make a good answer for you and talk later with this question. We hope so. Yes, that is all we think of the top of our head now. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the Avengers. And so Avengers is Avengers. Don't worry about it. I think it is time to close the teams, the question and answer time.
Okay,
Please.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you again. And the team's Avengers, please back to your seat. Thank you very much.